Last year I started doing all of my meal planning on Notion, and it has made meal planning so much easier for me. So in today's video, I want to share how I meal plan and how I use Notion to make it easier. Now, in case you don't know what is Notion, Notion is like a super organized digital notebook that you can do a ton of stuff in one place. So it's kind of like if Google Docs, Trello, your favorite to-do list, and your planner all had a baby, that's essentially Notion. You can take notes, plan projects, track goals, make to-do lists. You can customize it however you want. I have Notion boards for work, for setting personal goals, business goals, note keeping, and it has tons of built-in automations as well if you want to use them. So I was introduced to Notion by Taylor Mobley. I'll link her information down below. I actually hired her last year to get me started on Notion. And then from there, I kind of ended up customizing it to all of my needs. I have a personal daily planner that I keep on it, my content planner, where I keep all of my ideas for upcoming content for YouTube and for Instagram. And then I have a place for like all sorts of random notes. And I even make a yearly dashboard where I goal set, I make monthly resolutions, and I use it to meal plan, and that's what we're here for today. So let's dive in. So the top table is basically to plan every meal that I'm having that week. So there is a section for the meal itself, what meal we're eating, then the things that I can prep ahead of time because I do a lot of meal prep on weekends. And then there's a notes section because sometimes I want to leave myself notes about like what we're eating that day. Maybe there's something happening that day I want to know about. The next section is my meal prep list. This is honestly why I meal plan, because if I can get a plan for the week's meals on Friday, then I can grocery shop on the weekend and I can use Sunday or Monday to prep a ton of stuff for that week. This doesn't just help make meal planning easier so that I know like what I'm eating every day, but it allows me the ability to prep ahead of time, which just saves me so much time at the dinner time rush. And I'll link an entire video down below of like my meal prep and kitchen efficiency tips that goes into kind of like more detail about how I meal prep and how it helps me like make sure I can get dinner on the table without losing my mind. And then the final section here is your actual meals itself. So these are like your meal cards is kind of what you're gonna call them. So when you first start on Notion, there is gonna be a small uptick in the amount of time it's gonna take you to meal plan here because you're gonna need to plug your recipes in. Honestly, I find it's pretty quick. At the beginning, it took me maybe 15 minutes a week to add a full week of meal cards. And then after a few weeks, you're gonna have a ton in here, like you can see that I do. And if you're like our family, we tend to repeat a lot of our favorite meals so that I'm maybe only adding in like 1 or 2 recipes every week. Now, obviously you can just create your own Notion page to look like mine if you want to create your own meal planning page in Notion. Notion is a free product to use. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I will also have a link in the description if you're interested that would allow you to just duplicate my meal planning page into your Notion. So I'm going to just sort of walk you through what it looks like to meal plan. So I'm going to go ahead and I have this button here that actually will reset my meal plan. It just like deletes what's in the weekly plan for the week. And then I can choose what meals we want to have. So I'm going to show you what it would look like to add a meal in here. So maybe I know I'm going to have like Mediterranean lentil soup on Monday, and then we're going to do this like sheet pan meal the other day. Okay, so I'm going to type in the Mediterranean lentil soup, and it's just going to pop up here for my cards. I can pop it in. And then I'm going to add for Tuesday, let's see, let's have this zucchini lasagna casserole because it's delicious. Okay, so basically it'll pull in each of these meals. And then like you saw, when I click on one, it's gonna pull up that item's meal card. You see some of mine have more information than others, but all of mine use the same basic template where I have a link to the recipe, and sometimes my meal cards literally just have a link to the recipe and I can just click on it, it gets me out to the recipe, and then I know what it is. But lots of times I actually will like to just copy and paste the ingredients and the steps from the link just to put it all right in the meal card, so it's like one less thing for me to click. This one here, you can see I have the full ingredients list, and then there's all the steps. So I can literally just come into this meal card. Notion has an app on your phone, by the way, which makes it really easy too. So I can like just click it from my phone, follow the recipe, and I'm good to go.
Quick break to tell you about the sponsor for today's video, which is Farmer's Dog. Just like meal planning helps me automate my family's food, the Farmer's Dog helps me do the same for Olive, our French Bulldog. Their freshly made personalized meals arrive on time every time with no stress. You can easily adjust or reschedule shipments to fit your schedule, so it's flexible. Signing up was a breeze. I provided Olive's details, and the Farmer Dog personalized her meals just for her. The first box came with everything that we needed: a feeding guide, reusable container, and pre-portioned packs. And if I ever have questions, their 24/7 customer service team, real dog people, not outsourced, are always there to help. This new year, give your dog a fresh start too. Get 50% off your first box of healthy, freshly made dog food with free shipping by using my link. Tap below and see why Olive and I love the Farmer's Dog. You like it? It's pretty good, right?
Now, if I have a new meal that I need to cook, so actually let's go to one of my favorite places. I love Food by Maria. She does a lot of like Mediterranean and Greek recipes, a lot of like Blue Zone. You can see here she has the Blue Zone meals. I'm trying to get it so you can see it. So, okay, let's click one of hers. We'll pick one to put in. Let's add this salad. Okay, high protein salad. It's like a lentil salad. So let's say I'm gonna have that on Wednesday. So it's not in here already. So I'm gonna type in warm lentil salad. And because it's not already one of my meals, I'm going to click it as a new one. And then I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna create the actual meal card. So it's gonna pull in a template here. You see that I have set up. You can set it to be whatever you want, but for mine, I have a spot where I can put the link to the recipe. So I'll pop that in there. Basically, that's just like, for me, it's my, that's my starting point. So I just like always have a link to it. And then if I want, I can put in the ingredients and the steps, which again, usually from most places, I can literally just copy and paste. So you can see this takes me maybe like 60 seconds to like grab this meal and pop it in there. And I'm making it pretty. You don't have to do this. I just, you know, and then that's it. You can be done. I like to add cover images because I'm a very visual person. So I like being able to go through my meal cards and see like the images of them. So I will always save a picture from the recipe and then I put it up here as the cover. And then that's it. I also add tags to all of mine. So you can see under tags, I have things like my comfort meals, my high protein meals, Mediterranean food, soups. The ones that I tend to use the most are like my crock pot meals, my dump meals, because I try to do at least 1 or 2 of those every week because it makes my life a lot easier. Sometimes sheet pan. So I would come into this one. This is, oops, not a dessert. This is obviously high protein. It's Mediterranean, I guess. And then that's it. So now I've created this. And so now if I ever want to add it again, it's down here as one of my recipe options. And I can pop it in here whenever I want. Once I have all of this done, then I usually just come into my meal cards and I'll look at the recipe and I'll see if there's anything that I can prep ahead of time. So like looking at this recipe, if I wanted to do meal prep, I could like do all of the dicing of the veggies ahead of time. So I could come in here to my ahead of time meal prep and say like dice veggies for lentil soup. This zucchini lasagna, I make it enough that I know that I can literally prep the entire thing on the weekend, put it in a casserole dish, stick it in the fridge, and then it just needs to go in the oven one day. So I can say like prep zucchini casserole. All right, guys, that does it. That is how I meal plan and how I use Notion to meal plan and make it a ton easier for me to essentially sort of automate the process of meal planning in a lot of aspects. Just one less thing for me to have to worry about. As always, thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Remember to be kind to yourself and others, and I will see you all in my next video.